Wrong camera. Wrong camera. Wrong camera. I don't know why it's doing that. It's supposed to go the other way. I had all set up. I don't want green behind me.
What the heck?
I don't know. I don't know what it's doing. See, that's the basement one.
Broadcast
That's the one. And then that. Yeah, see, I got it there. All right.
How come I'm like getting cut off? Like,
I don't know.
all right, I'll see if I can lower my Jeez,
We're just a bumbled mess of, for those of you who listen to the podcast, don't forget your bath crayons.
That's from Mike Peterson.
Can everybody hear us? I think they can hear us, right? The microphones are going.
I don't know.
That was from Mike Peterson. Yeah.
Yes.
That's someone, for those of you that don't know, that's someone who listens to the podcast because that was the shower drawings. It's, anyway. Welcome to Gen X Talks live stream, bottom of the glass nation. We are Gen X Talks, a bunch of common sense, if you will. I'm broadcasting 200 feet below occupied California and then another 6 feet into the basement, which is where I have to be right now. If you didn't see the green screen at the beginning, this is going to be totally believable for the rest of you. So Gen X Talks, for those of you who don't know, we didn't go vertical tonight, so we're not anticipating a bunch of new people, but a little more intimate for the regulars, the fans, the followers, the viewers, those of you who have been part of us for a while that you know what we're doing. We didn't try to drag in a bunch of new people, so we kept everything horizontal. As you know, vertical puts you in Facebook Reels, the feed, puts you in the Shorts, YouTube, the feed, and you get a lot of new people. I'm just not trying to do that tonight. So, that's why we're doing that here. But for those of you that don't know, Generation X, Gen X Talks, a bunch of extras. That's what we are. We're a Legion of X, and this is the bottom of the glass nation. You know what? I should drink tonight. I do have a shot glass. Do you know why I've got it? My wife cleaned out all the shot glasses from the studio, but then she brought me medicine. My wife brings me my meds in a shot glass.
A whole thing of shot glasses.
What? Kate, what'd you say?
I said you have a whole thing of shot glasses on the wall next to you.
We don't touch those, though. They're decorations.
Oh, brother.
All right, I'll drink a little bit with you guys tonight because tonight is we're doing something a little bit different. It's question and answer night. My wife and I will answer any question you answer.
Whoa. Wait a second. You did not tell me that was going to happen.
I didn't tell you that at all. Well, to be fair, you were busy. You were on your phone. You were handling stuff with staff. You were peeking around the corners and doing things. And I just
I know, but they can ask you questions.
Well, if they ask...
I'll verify if you tell it right.
If they ask me a question, if they ask you a question you don't answer, I'm going to make up an answer. As readily as I know.
I didn't sign up for this.
You know what? Your Majesty, your queenship, you got to take one for the team sometime. So there's vodka right next to you. If you can't answer things sober, there's vodka right next to you.
Just what I need.
Just exactly what you needed today.
Take the pain away. There we go.
From these answers, yes. So there, for those of you who are on Facebook, Chris Yerger is your guy over there. He's on Facebook. I think Trippy's gonna be doing double duty over there, helping you guys out because Chris is still a pretty new staff member. Disney Mama Sammy Joe is your usual contact. The reason I'm telling you on Facebook is because if you write down questions in the comments, they will copy and paste them and put them in the sheets. My wife is in between the sheets where we all want my wife, and she will read them. Google Docs or Google Sheets. Josh Maddox over on Rumble, Trippy Pineapple doing it from YouTube, and then a little crossover help over there with Facebook. That should cover everybody nicely. I'm going to start with a drink. We ended the other show on Tuesday night on a little bit of a downer and on Thursday night, and I had a tough time getting my feet back under me, so there was no World Show Friday, no Garage Show, but I promise you we'll be back tonight. We're back tonight. So raising a glass right now to everybody who made it through the last 2 days without me. I know it's difficult. I know that it's hard. It's very difficult. This handsomeness, you got to see it at least a couple times a week. I do understand that. We'll drink right now to the Gen X Talks program and all of you jabronis out there just like me. All right. So where were we? What do we got? Anybody got any questions out there?
Let me see.
There should be stuff between the sheets. This is question and answer time.
I was mid-sentence right now. We have a birthday tomorrow. The man they call Jay.
I haven't seen him in so long. The man they call Jay. Is he in here?
I haven't seen
him. Or is he not in here? The man they call Jay. He was around a bunch for years, and then all of a sudden he disappeared. I hope he's okay.
Yes.
We do remember you folks. We remember you by name. When you say something familiar, we know.
Yes.
We even know what kind of comments you leave and stuff like that. We pay attention.
Dean Roddering, member for 7 months. 3 whiskey glasses for Mrs. 4.
Oh,
We said.
thank you.
Insurmountable Cali Cat, member for 1 year. Gen X Mom, happy to see you. How are you feeling?
She's tough right now. Hey, I got to interrupt you. Star Roberts, General, is it possible for you to grab that bottle of 18-year-old Wisers? Is that the stuff we just picked up recently?
Yes, it's in the house.
I don't have it right now, but we got that. That looks really good.
Yes.
So we're either going to drink that live or wait till the barbecue. I don't know what we're doing, but we're not. It's not for general consumption. This general consumption, yes. For my friends and my kids that come over, don't touch it.
Star Roberts wanted you to have a glass with him.
I will have a glass with him.
Totally forgot about it.
It's all right. We got it. We're good now. We're close.
Okay. All right.
Dean Roddering gifted 5 Genesis Talks membership. Let me take that one for you, honey. Rowdy Bobby, Columbus, Steve Hill, Ken Steffens, and it looks like Stay Fresh. They all got a membership. Mary Mathis in here. She's an extra. She got her big blue 2.
Nice.
And she's working on her green 3. Michael Dawson's in there, 27 months. For those of you that are in YouTube and you see the names go by, if they're in green, they're a member, not a subscriber, a member. If you see a big red 1, they've been a member for a year. You see a big blue 2 next to their name, they've been a member for 2 years. Some people are coming up on their 3rd year membership. Quite interesting.
Did you do the 3rd year thing?
I did.
Oh, so
Well, Trippy Pineapple gave one to me, which was good. He had the Army Man in there, and he had a 3. I just redid it so the 3 was a little more prominent, but this is Trippy Pineapple's design. So the first one who gets a green 3, that's from Trippy. Trippy Pineapple Senior, executive staff member. He came up with that one, so I'm just passing it along.
Russell Covey over on Facebook Personal. Go Broncos, 200-star set.
Russell never forgets. There's Sean MacArthur and Russell Covey are like honorary legal representation over there on Facebook.
Yeah.
Thank you much for
Kim
that.
Campbell wants to know, really, any questions? Are you really going there?
Any question you want, one night only. That's it. It's. I'm drinking. I'll answer. My wife and I are Generation X. We basically have no shame. I don't know that we've done anything more or worse than anybody else. But if you ask, we will answer. So just
Brittany Armstrong, Facebook Personal. Hello, handsome.
Brittany. Well, Brittany, let me give you one up close.
From the basement.
Hey, Brittany, from the basement. This is the General. Oh, you know what? I can do one for Brittany even better than that. Ready?
What's this? Oh, man.
Hey, Brittany, what's up? You want to, or something? Yeah, so do I. This one's for you. Let's just hang out a little bit. Got a little Wolfman Jack going on now. And if you don't know who Wolfman Jack is, you're on the wrong live stream. Please leave. Go look it up and then come back. And when you come back, sit at the little kid table. You know what I'm talking about. All right. What else you got, dear?
All right. Sahara H wants to know, turning it into truth or dare there, General? Won't answer, drink.
That's right. Yeah, it's a little truth or dare. If I don't answer, I will drink. If she doesn't answer, well, you got to pop a boob. That's the rule for women. I didn't make it up. That I am not in charge of the rules. I'm not. Well, then I guess you're answering. There's no two ways about it.
Anthony Irwin on Facebook. Question, do you guys ever consider collaborating with people?
Sure, absolutely I would. Absolutely we would collaborate with people.
All right. Kevin Combs, Facebook Personal. Okay, guys, 70s rock or 80s rock? 80s.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll listen to 70s. I know a lot of 70s.
You know a lot of 70s.
But
70s is, 80s. God, if you go to 80s rock, I don't want to go 80s rock and get into metal. Not trying to do that. Not trying to go into heavy metal. I'm setting Judas Priest aside, but there's a lot of good rock in the 80s. But my flavor is more of the rock of the 70s, the mid to late 70s. It has a special place in my heart. That's my pick.
Okay. Ben Eaton on Facebook Blue. How are you doing mentally, sir? He totally fucked up in the head.
Did you just tell them I was fucked up in the head?
No.
You said that out loud.
I didn't say anything.
You were on camera and you said...
You didn't hear anything.
Okay. Don't answer for me.
Oh.
Okay. I can tell people I'm fucked up in the head all by myself. I am not fucked up in the head. I mean, I'm in therapy. I'm getting treatment, so I don't know if that's... Maybe that is kind of fun. I'm not in therapy, but you know where I got that line from?
Where?
Remember last night's movie that you didn't like with Casey Affleck and Matt Damon?
Yeah.
And the guy smashes the truck and the big car chase, and they're trying to get out, and the guy pulls a gun, and they're trying to climb out, and they can't get out of the car, and the door opens, and he goes, "Are you guys fucking mental?" And Casey waits. She goes, "Well, we are in treatment." Because he talked to a therapist.
By the way, the man they call Jay is in chat right now.
There we go. The man they call Jay, been around. Thank you very much for doing that.
Mary Mistretta, member for 29 months. Michael Dawson, member for 29 for Mary, 27 for Michael Dawson. So they're closing in.
It's coming up.
Yeah, Chris Banks, $4.99. Let's all raise a glass to Mrs. Four and a second shot to my father, Gary Lee, who left this world this morning after a long battle with dementia. Sorry about that, Chris.
Oh, man. Well, I'm not going to drink 2 shots, but I'll drink one right now to both, to Mrs. Four and to your... He said it was his dad, right?
Yes.
That's for you guys. It's a serious thing when people leave.
Yeah, that's hard. Top Knots Rule, member for 23 months today. Trippy Pineapple says, hydrate, member for 29 months.
I wonder who's going to be the first one with their big green 3.
I don't know.
That's going to be
Mary
interesting.
Mathis is member for 28 months. King Wisenoak, member for 20 months. There's a lot there.
Oh, King Wisenoak's in? He gets that because we don't do the swinging in space shuttle microphone thing anymore, where we're testing the mic, and he always tested the video for me.
Right.
So that no one's going to get that, but King Wisenoak gets
That's
it.
all right.
All right.
Mary over on Facebook, what is your favorite movie of all time?
So we've had 2 questions on question and answer time. We're 15 minutes in to Ask Us Anything, and you guys 2 questions so far. All right.
Wow.
What's a favorite movie of all time?
Yeah, what's your favorite movie of all time?
You can answer this too, right? I'm leaning towards, first of all, like most Gen Xers, I bounce around like what's my flavor of the week, but I have some go-to movies. Tombstone, got to be up there at the top. Tombstone is one of my favorite movies. Big Lebowski, those are ones I can always go back to in my list of probably the top 5 or 8 or so. Those 2 are going to be mixing it up right around the top. So there you go.
Okay.
What would you pick?
I don't know. I always go back to the chick flick movies, but nobody likes the chick flick
Like what?
movies.
You really think The Wedding Date is like a go-to movie for you?
Yes.
It is. You just love that guy and that woman who's just raw as can be. Yeah.
I do. I like that one, but I go back to I love my Mary Poppins movie.
You do.
You know, so I've got these.
It's funny with my wife. I'm sure I do it too with my movies. I see a movie I like and I walk around quoting it, but she'll see The Wedding Date, and then for the next 2 days she'll run around like, "Will someone please buy
my hoo-ha a drink?"
And then there was another one too. I can't remember, but someone buy him a bundt cake or something. Someone give him a bundt cake.
Oh yeah, somebody should send God a bread basket.
A bread basket. His ass is so good.
Buns.
Someone should send God a bread basket.
Yeah.
And she's got her quotes too. So there you go.
Jim Buckley on Facebook. We of the Gen X generation. How close do you think we are from unsettling in our country? If you don't answer, I respect your decision.
I will answer. Everybody always asks me that, and if you have your finger on the pulse of the nation, which I do, or you have some people you can call and ask that are a little bit inside, which I have, answering you honestly, and this is asked mostly from abroad on the world shows, I think the only time we would get into some civil unrest is if Trump clearly should win, and they in the morning they go, "Oh well, we counted all the votes and Trump lost. Did not trust us. You saw the polling. Trump was neck and neck. Is not a surprise to us." I don't think this time that the country would put up with that. I think this time they'd say, "Okay, we're calling bullshit." All the other stuff. Oh, you get upset, you get angry. There's commotion, there's protest. There may be some riots in the streets in different cities and towns and states. Yeah, but on a national level, I think that's where the country would draw the line and say, "Okay, we're calling bullshit on that. Fuck off." But that's just me. What do I know?
All righty. That was Jim Buckley on Facebook.
Jim, I hope that answers your question.
Joey Uquerde, member for 28 months.
What do I call him?
Little brother Joey.
Nope. Close.
Little
Kid brother Joey.
Kid brother Joey. Top of the evening to all the Bottom of the Glass Nation. I would like to raise my glass to Madam for Watton. May she be forever in our hearts and minds. Absolutely.
And she will. Does anybody know who the $2 whore is?
Not that I know of yet. Joshua on YouTube, I have a quick question. Your son said that you are an auto mechanic.
Yeah.
Do you work at a dealership? What is your favorite brand of car?
I don't work at a dealership any longer. I did in my youth. I worked at GM dealerships and Mazda. The Mazda was always a line that had like Mazda, Subaru, Isuzu. For those of you that are under the age of 40, you have no idea what an Isuzu is. You guys probably think Isuzu builds submarines for the Japanese Navy, which they do. But Isuzu used to make cars and trucks in the United States. And so I've had a lot of varied experience on that. I worked at a few Chrysler dealerships. I had some cool stories from back in those days. And then I went to independent, and then I started to run my own shop for a while, and that's kind of where I retired. So, yeah.
Yes, you did.
So, yes and no, no and yes, up and down, yin and yang, back and forward. There you go.
Michael Dawson, member for 2 years. Podcast coming?
We recorded it today. I actually have to take one part out.
Because?
Well, we made mention of someone's wife. Probably should have left that part out. So now I got to scroll through, cut out just 10 seconds and leave that because it'd be a little forward and we probably should cut that out. So,
okay.
And we'll leave that. But yes, it's coming. I would have already had it posted, but I sobered up and went.
It's all my fault, everyone.
Little bit.
The podcast being late is all my fault.
That's for fucking A sure.
I'm apologizing.
In fact, the first 2 minutes of the podcast, she spends apologizing to everybody and explaining herself. Yeah.
Oh, man.
True story.
The man they call Jay, $4.99, a glass for Mrs. Four.
Jesus Christ. I'm going to have to store those up. Do we got any more questions?
Steve Plum on Facebook. Question, why do you always say you raised 32 kids?
Steve, that's Steve Plum, you said?
Yes.
Because I've raised 32 kids. I've been married 3 times, and I count myself in various degrees of children that I have had an influence over, mainly from my mid-20s on. I would say mid-20s on up. There was a lot of children. You guys know how sometimes you have that house you go to when you're a teenager, you're junior high or high school, and you're pissed off at your family, and you go over to your friend's house because you're welcome at your buddy's house, and you can stay there, and his mom treats you like a mom and like a kid. You just know her as your second mom. Or our house was always kind of that way. And I don't mean people that hung out a little bit. I don't count them. And we also did foster care. So we had foster kids that came and went, and some of them short periods of time. I'm not counting those. Some of them long periods of time. I count those. Anybody that I went through a list one time in my head and thought of all the kids that were mine, hers, ours, theirs, previous relationships, previous marriage, added them all up, then mixed in all the foster kids, and then all of the kids that used to come and just hang out that treated my wife like a second mom. And they would just come over and like they needed some place to go. And there was a lot of those. And our house was just that way, where we'd call the parents, hey, your kid's here. Do you want me to send them home? No, they can stay. And they stay for a day or two. So you really feel like you have an influence. And a lot of them would come back and said, you had a really good influence on me. And here's why. So I wrote down one time a list that I can't.
What did they used to call me?
What's that?
What the kids used to call me? Bonus mom.
Oh, bonus mom. Yeah, you were the kid's bonus mom.
Bonus mom.
And so I wrote down one time a list, and I got to 32 names that I could remember that I think either they said I had a big influence or I knew from so many years around them that I did. That's how I came up with the number 32. So it's semi-accurate from my point of view. Yeah.
Yes, it is. John over on Facebook. As parents, what was the hardest decisions as a parent? Man.
I think the hardest overall decisions were knowing when to draw the line in the sand. And that could be for anything because you're helpful, you're encouraging, and finally at some point you have to say, okay, I'm done with this. You're fucking up, and now we're going to the punishment side of things. And that's a real hard line to figure out because every kid is different. Every age is different. I think the hardest part was finding out when it's like, okay, I'm done. I'm not giving you any more money. You're on your own. And it's harder for women. women are the wives, mothers. They're the worst at when you say, okay, we can't keep supporting this child. This is wrong. We're enabling the child. And they keep right on doing, I just can't say no. I love them so. Call me wrong. Tell me I'm a bad mother for loving my child too much. Okay, you're a bad mother for loving your child too much. Stop it. Because you are. There does come a point, and it's different for everybody. I don't know if you're there or not. There does come a point when you have to say no. You have to draw a line in the sand. And that's one of the hardest things to ever do, is to figure out where that is. It was very difficult for my wife and I. I will say, to be fair to both of us, we talked every one of these through, trying to balance each other out before a decision was made. Very seldom did either one of us fly off the handle and say something, although that's happened sometimes too, where we flow off the handle, said, well, this is how it's going to be, and fuck off. And the other parent, you back them up. You just shut up and you back them up. You talk about it later, but you learn, you back them up, and then you figure it out. We've had a few of those too, but yeah. I hope that answers your question.
Bruce Kelly on Facebook Blue, has Gen X mom ever popped a boob for no answer?
Not yet tonight.
I was going to go,
not tonight. She has on other occasions, but not tonight, no.
Brad Baker, member.
Well, she can't do that tonight anyway. Get banned. Facebook and YouTube, they cut you off right there for nudity. So she couldn't, even if she really wanted to, she couldn't do it.
Brad Baker, member for 25 months. Good evening, handsome general, and always beautiful queen Gen X mom.
Thank you, Brad.
The plane tickets, hotel, and rental car are bought for September. General, what age did you first get drunk, and what was it that you drank?
Oh, I didn't get drunk till I was in my 40s. I was a very responsible... Papa boob?
No. Yeah, Brad, whip it out there, buddy.
Just to touch on the first part of what you said, the barbecue, the Gen X Talks barbecue is September 1st. It's a Sunday. It's at our house. You got to buy a ticket. If you have responsible moderators on your platform, they will put up the links right now for you. And you can see what's going on. But if you buy a ticket and come, this is the last one at this house, and then we're moving. This is the last one in the big backyard with the dogs and the pool and the music. This is the last one. Then we're leaving. So if you want to come, this is it. And we're hoping Dr. McDreamy shows up. He's planning on it. The Sun Valley Fox is going to be there. All the usual suspects, the names you know, are going to be here, and it's going to be a lot of fun. Yeah. I don't remember how early it was when I got drunk. I was a very responsible young man. And so... What are you shaking your head for?
Oh, nothing. I was just reading a comment
that you disagreed with? Yeah, I'm sure that's what it was.
That's all it was.
The first time I got drunk.
Come on. Tell
it wasn't as early as you think. I don't know, maybe 16 or 17, maybe.
With your dad?
Yeah, with Wild Bill.
And what was it?
Jack Daniels, old number 7, for sure.
Oh, God.
And I think it was even at a mining camp up in, it was an old mining camp. They were panning for gold. That's Swedes camp. Remember the Swedes camp stories I tell about stuff? I think it was up there.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
remember right.
I concur.
You concur. Well, thank you. Thank you. With your doctorate of knowledge and concurring.
You're welcome. Gary A., member for 20 months. Brad Baker again, member... Oh, no, that was a repeat. Diane, $5. Is it possible sometime to offer 8-ounce whiskey glasses with truth on the bottom like Handsome General had back a while? Thanks.
8 ounce. Now, what is he talking about? 8 ounce. Now, that's not a lowball glass, is it? A highball glass? That's not 8 ounces, is it? Maybe it is.
Yeah, and we did have those, but we don't. I think I'm out.
That's a good point. We should do that. Who said that? Was that
Diane?
Diane, that's a good call on that. We should make a note on that.
Yeah, we've always done the shot glasses.
Well, there's 2 things coming up I was going to tell you guys about. We're going to do a little memorial for Mrs. Four. I want to build something or have something made that's not cheesy. I mean, I fucking want it to be heavy and gold and silver. I mean, that's how I feel. I know I probably won't do that, but instead of just having you guys do donations to help build this thing, which I hope it's a monument as big as a fucking Buick, and I put it in my front yard. That's how I feel.
Oh, you know what's right.
But I do want to do something with a donation where we put up a link, say if you want to give a couple bucks, give a couple bucks here. But the other one is that's Mrs. Four Watton's library with all of her sticky notes because she was our bookkeeper.
I have this.
It's and the other one is we're going to offer T-shirts. It's a very beautiful. My wife came up with a design today for remembering Mrs. Four. That way, if you don't want to just donate, you actually want to buy something. We'll just take the couple bucks off of the deal on that and put that towards whatever we're doing. That's coming up pretty soon, where you guys can either throw a couple bucks her way or the memorial way, or you can do something with a T-shirt, and then we're going to build something real nice and permanent in the studio. Wherever I move, wherever I live, wherever I go, that's going with me. It's going to be the first thing I take, and it's going to be in fucking bubble wrap. So that's how I feel. I really feel that strongly about it. So that's coming up. But the shot glasses, we're also doing unrelated. We did the big summer mug. I still think we got a couple left. We do them once a summer, and there's a couple left on the website, and go find that. But the numbered shot glasses, I think we're going to do those right around the barbecue, maybe a little before, a little after. They're numbered. We don't sell 1 to 200, and we sell 3 number 3s and 6 number 7s. No, there's one of each one. And once that's it, that's it. And yes, I know some of you pay and go, I'll give you a $100 bill if I can have number 69. I get it. I understand it. It's a very sexual reference. I dig that too. But I'm trying not to do that this time around. But there will be some stuff that is available like that over the next couple months before summer comes to an end, before October gets here, before the fall colors begin to sink into the Pacific or the Atlantic Northeast. So you guys will watch for those things. But Diane's right. We should add back a truth at the bottom. We should do that. We'll do that. We'll get another one. We have sets of those, and we'll add one more to the set. We'll get the same glass. So if you have some in the beginning, we'll continue the set. All right. What else?
All right. Christina Roth, member for 20 months. Question: Are we ever going to get the short of pomegranate stain, or where can we find that? It's a live stream.
It was a live stream. Boy,
man, that's going way back. I bet you Josh might remember.
Josh might remember, or I don't know if he's in here. Two Bear would know. Two Bear, he knows that kind of stuff. He has a way to find it. That pomegranate, I was drunk off my ass. It was 3 hours into a live stream. I was a fifth of whiskey in. I had to go back the next day, and even people kept saying, that was so fucking awesome, man. Pomegranate stains circling the wagons, man. That was fucking great. And I'm like, yeah, what the fuck are we talking about? I had to go back and watch it myself.
Two Bear is listening. He's not watching, but he's listening, just so you know.
How would you know that?
Because he posted it.
Oh, well, maybe Two Bear can come up with that link. I don't know.
Okay.
We'll see. But that's an old live stream from back in the day. It is still available, but I don't know which one it is. I'm sorry.
All right. Deepak is here. $20. Rest in peace, Mrs. Forwatten. From her actions here and on Discord, you could tell she was one of the finest people to have stood on this planet.
Absolutely. Deepak, absolutely, brother. All the way from Ireland is Deepak, and he couldn't be more fucking right.
Yes, absolutely. Takasama, member for 21 months. The best of us are fucked in the head. It's how we lasted this long.
Takasama.
That's true. If
I hadn't just drank one, I drink one at Takasama right fucking now.
Okay,
we are halfway through the show, and you guys have asked like 3 questions. You can ask us anything.
Too much.
All right,
I got a list.
Sorry, go.
Star Roberts gifted 10 memberships tonight. Mr. Blackstar, Christmas Goose, Toilet Trauma, Fatal Massacre, James, Rudy, Hammy Buck, Ali, SB, Christopher Montrose. Some of these are just incredible.
All of you can look behind the curtain now. If you got a membership on YouTube, you can go to the go to the community section after the show. Don't go now. And there is 3.5 years of behind the scenes, not for public consumption. Those of you on Facebook, same thing. You go to the Facebook page called the General's Lunchbox. 3.5 years of behind-the-scenes content. It's a lot of fun.
All righty. Loud One, $5. Currently throwing back a bunch of Crown Apple from a Mrs. Four handle. Have a great night, Bottom of the Glass Nation. I'm working on my alcohol intake to make my brain stop.
You know what? He can't drink Crown Apple. That's not his drink.
Well, I don't know.
That's
Lionheart's.
That is solidly in the Lionheart camp.
It is.
I'm not sure what's going on there.
I don't know.
I call that encroachment, 10 yards.
Ray Dog Lock, $1.99. When is the studio going to be finished?
It's fucking finished, man. We're done. Go to the Gen X Talks website. Go to genxtalks.com. Scroll to the bottom. There's one called Studio Gear. That just shows what's in here. But there's a studio history picture by picture by picture by picture. And I'm telling you, it's got all the pictures of Lionheart bent over with his plumber's crack. It's all there. The
yeah,
studio's
ladies.
yeah, but it's done now. It's weird. She looked around like, what else are we doing?
Am I in the studio?
Well, to be fair, there's a few lights and technical stuff we still have to add to get it where we want it, but they're kind of expensive. We just haven't got there yet. Now, here's a real test for you. I bet the only person who can do this is Trippy Dippy Pineapple.
What?
And maybe not even Trippy Dippy Pineapple.
What?
We have always had, and we didn't keep it up to date
Trippy, you rock.
because you guys don't, we didn't bother you with it, but you guys ask, how can we help? How can we donate? That's how Michael got these. There is a list on Amazon. It's a wish list, and there's some stuff that's inexpensive, and there's some that's way more expensive than anybody's got money for, which is why we don't have it. But just so you guys know what we're shooting for. Sometimes, like, there's a camera that we need on there. We actually need 3 of them, and somebody sent us $50 through PayPal and said, hey, this is for the camera. We'll put it towards the camera. That's what we need it for. But if you guys want, I don't know if anybody's actually got that link to the website for that. But if someone does,
Trippy Dippy Pineapple put up the studio history link.
it's pretty good.
Come
Trippy,
on, man.
if anybody's got those links, Trip does. He's got them at his fingertips. He pulls them out like a 6-shooter when he's got it. But that one might be a hard one because I only posted it one time in the staff thread. It might be hard to find that one.
All
Anyway,
right.
Go ahead. Let's blow through these.
Excuse me, sorry.
Whoa.
Oh my goodness.
That's enough yawning.
The shoeless one, $2. When do you think you will be moving?
Well,
I'm like,
12 months, about 12 months, we want to list the house and be moving. We will not have a place to land. We're going to have bare land with Ben Matlock, we're going to have dinner with him and his buddies and help decide how we're spending the money. We're going to have bare land, a power pole, and a well, and that's where we're starting. I don't know whether we're going to get an RV and live in that while we build the house, or if we're going to be in an apartment. We haven't decided yet, but we're leaving. One way or another, we're going, and we're going to have to Green Acres that shit. Yeah, see
Green
that blank
Acres.
stare? You see all the blank stare, honey?
Green
I said we're going to have to Green Acres that shit. We're going to have to, do you remember where the phone calls were made?
up the telephone pole.
Up the telephone pole.
Oh,
and
man, I
those,
just aged myself. Just
for those of you who don't know what Green Acres is, leave the live stream right fucking
wasn't
now.
it Eddie Albert
It was.
and Zsa Gabor?
It was. Wow. Nice pull.
You're welcome.
What a nice pull.
You're welcome.
Well done.
Welcome.
If you don't know what Green Acres is, please leave the live stream, go look it up, watch a couple episodes, and then come back and sit at the little kid table because that's where you belong. All right.
Green Acres is the place. Oh, sorry. Christina Fuller, what do you think about Easy Rider?
I liked Easy Rider. I've only watched it a couple times, a little bit before my time, but I did watch it a couple times. There's Jack Nicholson and Peter Fonda, if I remember right. It was a pretty good story. You know, bikers cross country. Uh-oh. My camera went off. We just lost everything.
What?
My camera's off. We lost everything.
How do you know it's off?
Because the little green light fucking went off. I'm going to try one thing to bring us back. Tell them, type for a second, tell them we're trying to come back.
I'm still on screen.
Okay, the camera's back. Okay, look at that. I opened up, the camera froze on Streamlabs. I went to another app that uses that camera,
Yeah.
and I opened it, and the camera came back on, and Streamlabs is like, oh, fuck, look, the camera came back. Who's your hero? Who's your goddamn hero? That's
are.
this guy.
Okay.
All right.
Joelle wants to know on Facebook, what is your favorite 70s rock band and favorite 80s rock band? That's so hard.
Yeah, that's tough. If I had to blanket it, I'd say Queen, but I've been on a Steve Miller Band kick lately. So Boston and Steve Miller Band for the 70s, Queen through the early 80s, and then that's tough. I don't know. You and I got hooked on Motley Crue the other day. We're listening to a bunch of Motley Crue stuff. I don't know. It's kind of I know when you're a kid, what's your favorite band? What's your favorite show? What's your favorite movie? Who's your favorite actor? I got all that, but I'm not in junior high anymore.
Or it's whatever concert shirt you were wearing that
It's
day.
whatever concert shirt you had on, like Journey. So it's very fluid. I've had days when I listen to Hall & Oates for half a day. I don't know. Right now, that's the way I'd answer those questions.
Dave Washburn on Facebook, what is the best, most reliable truck? I don't know nowadays.
That's tough. I pay attention enough to know, but there's trouble with engines and transmissions and all of the big three from the United States. It's a tough one. Nissan, horrible choices there, especially with their diesel engines they got on. Just throw that under the bus and walk away. I'd have to go with Toyota for most reliable. And I still went, when I made my purchase, I still bought a 2023 GMC. Half-ton pickup, 5.3, four-wheel drive, automatic. I know the transmissions had problems up until then. I'm hoping mine's not one of them because mine was a cutoff year when they made a new transmission. They updated the design. And I know that if you don't change your oil, you can have lifter problems with mine. I know the issues on it, but for most reliable, if you ask me just dollar for miles, I'm going to have to probably tell you Toyota.
All right. Tracy on Facebook Blue wants to know, what do you think of Elon Musk?
I love Elon Musk. I'm going to go quit.
I know, Jack
These
Armstrong.
really supporting questions here.
Jack Armstrong, if you could have a drink with anyone in the world or in any time and pick their brains, who would it be?
Alive, Elon Musk. Dead, my grandfather or George S. Patton.
Wow. No Ronald Reagan, huh?
No.
Dave Washburn again. Who is the greatest Dodger of all time?
Steve Garvey.
I knew that was coming. I was going to go, Noelle wants to know, which CD would you play when you're drinking with friends?
Yeah. Well, I have a mix CD because I'm very 80s. I believe in mixtapes, rewritable CDs, burnable CDs. I don't know if I had to pick one just to mellow out and drink with. If we're in the house running around, screaming and yelling, and it's turned way up and everybody's running around topless, I'd probably pick something from Motley Crue, probably Dr. Feelgood. If we're out at the fire pit and it's kind of mellow and we're hanging out there, probably pick something 70s Billy Joel or some Hall & Oates, something to keep the vibe going. That's my feel on that.
Okay. Rusty Stratton, $2. Another shot for Mrs. Four. Much love, all.
I'll take it. Hey, do you notice how I grade myself a little bit to match the basement that she put me in? See how the color's different? I'm not as bright and cheery. I don't have my Santa Claus disposition. BTick 2 on Rumble wants to know, where did you get the word badonkadonk from? I don't
Nobody's
remember.
Ever asked that?
Yeah, badonkadonk. It's a common word. I picked it up. I don't know. Had to been out of high school. So after '86, someone used it as a gentle euphemism for sex. Go home and get me some badonkadonk. But it's been out there. It's on TikTok, and Joe Rogan says it. Joe Rogan said it after I said it. I mean, not that he watches the show. Yeah. All right.
Loud one, $2. Kevin Grimes is the $2 hookah.
Kevin Grimes is not the $2 whore. You haven't been drinking enough. Keep drinking there, loud one.
Christopher Civic, member for 6 months. To both. What is one landmark that you would like to visit one day before the sand in the hourglass is done?
One landmark.
We've seen a lot.
I would like to walk through Jerusalem.
Ooh, that's a good one.
That's mine. You got to pick your own.
I would like to visit Alaska one day.
Okay.
That's my landmark.
So you're going to Alaska and I'm going to Israel, and we'll both talk about it when we get back.
Okay, cool.
All right.
Hobo Rob prospecting. Money is not an option. Where would you like to go? Same thing.
Yeah, well.
Hungry.
Yeah, you want to go to your history. You want to find out, and you'd like to stay there a while and talk to real historians about the area.
Yeah, I hear Budapest is absolutely incredibly beautiful. So
I remember Budapest very differently.
Why? When were you there?
Nobody caught that. Nobody caught that pull. Reminds me of Budapest. You and I remember Budapest very differently. No one knows that. That was a great line.
Okay. I don't know.
Wow. All right. So anyway, no, I've never been there.
Okay.
Money not an object. Where I'd like to go? I'd like to go on that little submersible to the Titanic.
What?
You know, the one that imploded?
I was going to go, what?
Actually, I'd like to go on James Cameron's. I'd like to go to the Titanic to see the Titanic, or to the bottom of the Marianas Trench if money was no object. If you could fit my fat ass through the hole, Vaseline me up, pop me in there, and then close the lid, I'd like to go down there. Yeah.
Okay. Robert over on Facebook, besides tools, do you collect anything else?
I collect wives. I'm on my third one, so I got a lot of those.
And your last one. Just saying.
I have a few guns, a few swords, a few weapons. I'm not a master collector of anything, but I got some old dollars and some old silver and some old money. I got some old car parts. I got some old tools. Got one old wife. She's sitting right here. I got a few things that are vintage. You're from 1968. That's vintage.
Wow.
True story.
Insurmountable Cali Cat. Low torque is the ho, ho, ho.
Low torque is the ho, ho, ho. And he is a ho, ho, ho. True story. All right.
Michelle on Facebook. Would you go ghost hunting if invited just to have the experience, or what's your stance on the paranormal?
Yeah, you'd have to. I'd love to. If someone really wanted to say, hey, let's make an event out of this. You guys want me to come along as Gen X Talks and the general, and you guys set one up. I want to go. If you're serious, you can't just be like someone who orders a fake little Geiger counter from Ghostbusters from Toys R Us. No, I'd want to sit and learn all about the metrics of what ghost hunters do. We can record the whole thing, make some videos, make some shorts, do some interviews. I'll interview those guys like I do. And then I would like to go on an expedition to where these things have. I would absolutely have an open mind to it, but I want to hear the science or the art form behind it. I would absolutely go do that. If someone said, let's go do that, let's put you on there, let's go, I'll be there. We'll get the hotel room, we'll stay for a week, whatever but I don't want to just walk down a hall and go, did you hear that? That was scary. No, I want someone to explain, the metrics behind it. And then I would go.
All right. Hillbilly, $20. Why you always think you're old as hell?
Oh, because I am. I mean, every time God comes around and praises his work on creating dirt, he always looks at me and goes, you too. So, yeah, I got some miles on me. I probably got more miles than years. It's not the years, it's the miles. But I think a lot of you are that way. That's just my feeling on that.
All right. Brad Baker, $10. Holy owl shit, Batman. General, you just got a woman to apologize and admit fault. Please teach us your wise ways.
Well, there's nothing I can really teach you. When you get a woman at that point, you completely own the situation. You are the master of your own universe. You chart your own damn course. You wake up and snap your fingers and things start to happen. I'm going to drink this one to me.
Michael Dawson wants a comment on Jump Vegas Briggs. That's on the podcast.
That's on the podcast. It'll drop tomorrow in detail.
In detail. I talked
you guys
about the
know?
whole couple days.
Yeah, Gen X Talks was invited. The Briggs was invited to jump with the Army Golden Knights, their elite paratrooper uniforms and everything, all sashayed in the sun. And he did it.
But it was an adventure.
It was an adventure, but it's all on the podcast tomorrow, so you got to listen. Tune in tomorrow to the Gen X Talks podcast, bright and early.
Randy Bloomfield on YouTube. What's the closest you've come to dying?
Is that for both of us?
I didn't say.
Well, you can go first.
No, you can go first.
No, you can go first.
Well, Randy, 10 years ago, I was diagnosed with AML, acute myeloid leukemia, which is cancer, blood cancer. I was given 3 months to live, and I got into, I don't know what they call it. I got compromised. My gut got compromised, and I had to have major abdominal surgery after 4 months of chemo. They gave me a 10% chance of living through that surgery.
They gave you a 0% chance. It wasn't 10, it was 0.
0% chance of not living through that, and here I am. I am here. I made it.
Okay, so where's the part where you died?
Oh, I forgot about that.
Duh.
You know that. I wasn't
She died
around.
twice. She died once
Sorry.
in my arms. I was moving her from a hospital bed to a chair, and she coded, heart stopped, quit breathing. And I put her back in the bed, and the ramp team came in. It was an ICU, and they brought her back. And then the other time she died for over 2 minutes on the operating table, and I wasn't there. The doctor came out with a crying story on God saving her life. 2 times she has died. I've died once. Oh, you want the story? It's really riveting. I was 2, and my mother said, I have to go to the bathroom. Don't let him play with the cellophane. She went to the bathroom. The girl let me play with the cellophane. I ate it. I choked. I was not breathing. I was sitting there blue, staring at the sky. My mom put the cellophane out, got me breathing again. Ta-da! I'm back to life. Not nearly as dramatic as hers, but yes, I was gone to the other side and I came back.
Yeah.
And I saw many, many things at 2 years old, but I can't remember them. So, yeah, there you go.
All right.
Now, if you want to talk close to dying, I don't know how many stories running with my biological dad, Wild Bill, and his Hells Angels group, how many times that had a gun pressed to my head, or I was in a gunfight, or there was problems that were out of my control and I didn't want to be there. There's a lot of those stories. And believe me, I didn't want to be part of any of them. Not one fucking time.
All right.
Yeah.
Graham Gordon, did you want to sponsor my master's swimming career? I have lots of real estate on my body for a corporate tattoo.
We get a tattoo. Can I get a tattoo of my face on your calf? That would be nice.
Jamie Edward on Facebook. How hard was it for you to your first year or two living together? How hard was it for you, your first year or two living together?
It wasn't. We did really well. We
did.
Yeah, and she's lived with other guys. I've lived with other girls, and I will tell you by comparison, this was completely different than any other thing I've ever gone through. When they tell you in life, if you're lucky enough to find your best friend to marry them, and you can, there's nothing that compares to it at all. I don't know how to put it into words. I wouldn't be able to write it in a song. I'm just telling you it exists, and there's nothing else like it. I don't know how she feels, but that's how I feel.
I feel the same way. Absolutely. Makes life so easy.
How tough was our first couple years living together?
Or was it?
Yeah.
Was it? Rumble, Shadowlight, secret or advice for a long-term happy marriage? Going through a rough patch in mine, so going to the well for advice.
If you have children, openly love their mother in front of them where they can see it. Don't fight. And keep doing it no matter what. The second thing is exceed your spouse's expectations. If she asks you to take out the trash or she wants you to, take out all the trash in the house, clean up the trash can, wipe it down, put in new bags, make sure you sweep up where other people might have dropped stuff as they were dumping trash. Whatever she asks you to do, just do it a little bit better. And in the beginning, you can say so. You can say, hey, I know you asked me to take out the trash. Here's how and you just list everything you did and say, I'm doing that for you. I'm doing a little more than what you asked because this is important. You wanted me to wash the car. I washed the car. I waxed the car. I vacuumed out the inside. I threw the trash away. I checked all the fluids in the car. I checked the tire pressure. I know you didn't ask me to, but that's what I'm doing. It's when you exceed their expectations is when things start to change. There's no time limit. There's no time limit. You can't just sit on that and go, well, fuck, man, I've been doing this for 6 weeks. I've been exceeding, and you're not doing your part. You have to come right out of the gate doing it and just wait for her to respond. If she loves you, she will exceed your expectations and do what she knows you want done better than you want it done because you're doing what she wants done better than she wants it done. And there's no time limit. You just got to keep doing it. There you go.
Can I add something on
Sure.
that? The other advice I would give is always remember, no matter how life changes, like I went through cancer or whatever, that person that you married is still on the inside of that person, no matter how that person's changed on the outside. You married that person for who they are on the inside. And that's really important.
Well, that's true for you because I'm new to being fat. I'm a big fat guy right now, but this was not my whole life. This is pretty recent, like the last 4.5 years, I've gotten big. I was a fucking stud up until then. I just let myself get in this mess, and she still loves me the same. She is not anything like she was before cancer. She's got issues and problems and scars, and I never even notice until some conversation like this comes up because I don't care if she was in a wheelchair with her legs cut off at her knees. I can tell you honestly, wouldn't change one thing. I married a person. Whatever shell that person comes in, I'm fine with it.
Absolutely.
What else you got? Come on, it's question and answer time.
Ace Jumpman wants to know on Rumble, will you be rescheduling the East Coast trip? Man, I would really love to do that.
I know, we're going to have to figure that out.
Our time frames is just
We have a lot of things to get done before we move. It's going to be tough, but we'll get there.
Let's see. Tim on Facebook. I've heard you talk about going sprint car racing. Are you a wing or non-wing guy? And where do you go watch the races?
I haven't done a lot of that since I was a kid. Although we got invited up to, where did we get invited to? What was
Petaluma.
It? Petaluma. The track was built in 1961. It's a weird track because it's not quite dirt. It's like a black dirt. It's a weird gig, and it's a great track. I wouldn't care if either open wheel, with or without wing, it'd be fine. Up there, I think they had them when we watched them race, and we stayed there all night. If we'd have been invited anywhere you guys invite us to go, drag strip, circle track, I'll fucking show up, man. We'll give away some free t-shirts and make it an event. I like going to that stuff. Whenever you guys invite, we'll be there.
All right. On PayPal, William sent $5. What is your most memorable family vacation moment or moments?
What do you think? What's a moment that sticks in your head about a family vacation?
When we took all the kids. Oh, my gosh. When I took all 9 of my children.
We only have 8. I am not your 9th person.
On a plane that he didn't want to go to, we took all of them to Disney World for a week.
Yeah.
That was so much fun, but so crazy.
I like also that we took a trip one time up to Oregon to see my parents, and on our way back, she had never driven really in the snow. So when snow was falling, she was like, oh my God, there's snow falling. And we drove for, I forget what highway we were on leaving. We went down 97 and then headed west, but there was 9 feet of snow on the side of the road. Perfectly straight, cut for miles and miles and miles. It's 9 feet tall, and we're driving through this. Cars coming this way, cars going that way. And she's looking, going, oh my God. And all the kids just amazed that snow, they had plowed it and cut it back to perfectly just a straight wall of snow, 9 feet tall for, 30 miles. That was it's for me, family trips are better when I watch my children have open eyes at something. When they first saw the Golden Gate Bridge and we got out and we walked around the park and they just looked.
Yeah.
When we took Briggs to the Grand Canyon and he looks. When they saw those things of snow, just when you get to those points where you're looking at things through your kids' eyes, I can think of those moments, and they're just great when they're eye-opening.
Yeah, absolutely. Marcy over on Facebook, why are you moving? That's a question for you.
There's no real reason to be here. We live in Bakersfield. We nice neighborhood, nice neighbors. It's a town that's on the way to everywhere. It wasn't our first choice to live. People aren't saving their money, so one day when I save up enough money, I can live in Bakersfield. No one's dying to get here, but there's still nice places and nice people and a lot of stuff to do. I like that it's very conservative. But the reason we moved here was Bakersfield was, her father was sick and dying in the San Fernando Valley, about an hour and 20 minutes away. My biological dad was sick and dying about an hour north of here in Kernville. And my grandmother was sick and dying about 2 hours to the coast. Bakersfield was a spot where we could sit and be attentive to all 3 of those places. By the time everybody passed away, their illnesses were done. We'd been here 6 or 7 years. The kids were in school. The kids had friends. So we stayed. And then the kids are all gone now. So it's time to pick where we want to go. And it's just time to leave. The biggest thing driving me out of California isn't California. I love California. I think California is the best state in the union as far as I'm concerned. It's absolutely gorgeous. I don't like what the government has done to my state, but I was born and raised here, and I love this state. The Newsom is passing laws that are actually harmful to families and children. They're actually predatorial, if you want to know the truth. And I'm here, I listen to all the stuff that goes on, and I can't believe people are going for it. And I just don't want to be part of it. I don't want to be part of that system. So I'm going to pick another place and move on.
All right. Just the Tiff, member for 28 months. I hope you all are doing well. I hope you have a great barbecue. I miss you all. Lots of changes happening over here for me. Thanks for the update, Tiff.
Just a Tiff. She was on staff for a while there. She's missed terribly. I hope things are going well for you, dear. Changes can be good. I hope those are good for you.
Yeah, Houdini, what'll it take to get Iceman to the barbecue?
Yeah, that's a tough one. Money. Iceman, he's he's in a tough spot. He really is. And everybody loves him being around. Probably $500. I think $500 because he wants to go. He just has no money. This year, I'm really struggling with having enough money to bring people. We used to help people all the time. This year, it's kind of tough. And Mrs. Four used to pay for money. Loud One used to pay for people to come in here.
Everybody's having a
Dr.
tough time.
McDreamy used to give some money. We used to chip in a bunch too. This year, everybody's in a tough situation for donating to get people here. Iceman, it'd be probably $500. And I say 500, I'm going to say 477 was his plane ticket to get here. But that's what Iceman, $500. And he has a place to stay. He can hang out here. He's been at my house. He slept at my house probably 3,000 times. So he'd be no problem being here. He'd come early. He'd stay late. But if no one else helps him, I don't think I can this year. That's why I didn't mention his name at the beginning. So if you guys have some interest or somebody knows somebody, you got some miles you can throw his way, contact GenXMom at GenXTalks.com or put something in PayPal and say what it's for. It'll go right to that.
Danny H., $5. To Invisa-Hoochie or not to Invisa-Hoochie? That is the question.
I will drink to that, Danny H., and you know the answer to that. Danny H., it's Invisa-Hoochie all the way. That's something only him and I know. Everybody, when I played Halo 3 online, everybody knew what I was talking about. I said that one night. I was drinking. I think Danny H. was drinking. He was listening in, and he never fucking forgot that. Never forgot that. And it's a personal
you made him
thing.
Laugh that night. He just
it was so fucking funny. It was great.
Yeah. Two Bear says, I'm only listening. Love you guys. Dustin on Facebook, did Big Papa X, did you watch pro wrestling or football? Who is your team?
Well, I didn't watch pro wrestling. My little brother did. I got a little brother who's 6'5", and that was his thing, was the wrestling thing. He knew every wrestler. He knew every WrestleMania thing. He was into all of it. I mean, beyond into it. He was bleeding that. I watched football, grew up watching the NFL, loved my Rams. Rams made it to the Super Bowl, I think, in 79 or 80, I think it was. They lost. But I loved the Rams. Then the Rams left me. And they moved to St. Louis, just like a wife who divorces you. But my mistress was always around. I got myself in love with the Denver Broncos and the Orange Crush defense like in 1976. I think they lost to Dallas in the Super Bowl. But I just had an affinity for them ever since. And I was a fan of the Broncos even through all the wrong way Elway years when he used to throw more interceptions to the other team than touchdowns to his team. And I was vindicated. We won a couple Super Bowls, 99 and 2000, I think it was. Then the 50th NFL season, they won that one too. I've been a Bronco fan way before they were popular, way before they were winning. I didn't jump on the bandwagon. I still have an affinity for them now. Now, my wife did come home. She got rid of whatever guy she was with in St. Louis. She came home. I built her a house. We built her a house, SoFi Stadium. She got me a ring, won the Super Bowl. So I think we've patched things up, but I'm not getting rid of my mistress, the Broncos. I hope that sums it up for you nicely.
All right. That was Dustin. Thank you, Dustin, for that question. Wolfie, have you ever made your own moonshine?
No, I've made my own mayonnaise before.
Okay.
That's as close as...
Okay. Diane on Facebook. Hello, everyone. A little late to the game. 500 stars sent from Diane.
Thank you, Diane.
Paul over on Facebook. What made you become a Dodger fan? Growing up in LA.
I was born in Los Angeles, a Dodger fan. See, that's one thing about the tint. This is a bright, bright blue cap. And on camera, it's black. But this is a bright blue cap.
Gotcha.
For Brooklyn, the Brooklyn Dodgers. Yeah.
Matt Smith, didn't know you were moving. Why are you leaving Baco? I think he just answered that question. Justin Bennett, I have a question about when you started your shop. Did you have a separate garage to work out of, or did you start out of your garage at home? And did you start with lifts and other shop equipment? Yeah, I started with, I had a shop in Oregon for 9 years. And then when I moved down to California, I went to work for some other people and kind of started doing it on the side. In fact, one of the places I was working for was European, and I worked with the owner doing European cars, and he didn't want to do any American cars at all, ever. So the customers of his that had Mercedes and BMW and Porsche and Jaguar, they asked me if I would work on their Chevys and Toyotas and Dodges and Fords,
after hours. And I asked my boss, I said, is it okay? He goes, yeah, go ahead, knock yourself, because he wasn't doing them. He'd been in business 30 years, never done them, didn't want it, wasn't taking away any work from him. Got so busy doing after hours working on the weekends that the building across the street came up for rent, and I moved over there. No floor, or no rack. No automotive lift for the first 2 years. It was doing everything with a floor jack and jack stands for the first couple years. Nothing more than a fan for the 110-degree heat. It was tough. I did a lot of stuff, but when you're raising 8 children, you don't have extra money to put back in. So I would try to go into work really early to work when it's cooler in the summertime. In the wintertime, I would start all the engines in the shop and then open up the doors, air out all the fumes, but keep the warmth in the shop because all the metal was warm from the engines running, and try to it was tough. It was not easy on me the first 2 years, maybe the first 4 years. It was really hard, but yeah, started out with just nothing and just kept working until I could get stuff.
The Shoeless One gifted 5 memberships to Paul, Steve, Tin TV, Jason, and Amy. They all got memberships. Scott Royston, $5. I'm so sorry I couldn't meet Mrs. Four in person, but I know she was very sweet on the live streams and did so much for Gen X Talks. We will forever miss you, Mrs. Four.
I agree with that, Scott. Thank you much. And thanks for being Scott's kind of been a replacement for Mrs. Four in one area. Mrs. Four, when she was here, every live stream she would donate memberships, maybe just 5. But she did it every live stream, sometimes more. She always was thinking of you guys, giving you guys memberships where you guys could go experience all the behind-the-scenes stuff. And then if you wanted to stay and pay for it yourself, it's $1. It's $1. You could. But Scott kind of does that now. Scott donates often, as many of you have been lately. But Scott just comes to mind because he kind of picked up that mantle even before she was passed away. Just when she was missing, Scott kind of did that. So thanks to you, Scott, for doing that.
Elizabeth over on Facebook, is there a podcast this week? I didn't see one today.
That's because my wife totally fucked everything up.
Sorry.
We recorded it now. It'll be out tomorrow morning. We got to go to a lake tomorrow morning and film the kid learning to water ski. Gen X Mom's going to be in her bikini in the boat filming. I'm going to be on the shore filming. These are trained world-class water ski professionals in a brand new boat, teaching him how to water ski. We're doing that for a couple hours in the morning. Then we'll come back. Then I'll post the podcast. Then I'll start working on the Army drop pictures and the water ski stuff. There'll be a lot of content tomorrow, a ton.
All righty. Scott Royston gifted another 5 memberships to Shane, Larissa, the new guy, Keith, and Matthew. They all got memberships tonight from Scott. I hope you guys thank him. Andy on Facebook, the Warriors movie. Did you like it?
It was okay. It's hard to compare a movie like that because I've grown up watching so many more movies in development with other stories and CGI and things that go along with it. The story was great. I wish they would redo it correctly. And I'm not a fan of redoing movies, but I think the Warriors story was so raw that if they could duplicate it again with some better filming angles, some better scenery, it was a good movie. It really was. And it stood the test of time as a cult classic by far, but it wouldn't bother me if the right people did a remake of that and paid tribute to it.
All right. Scott on Facebook, what was your first concert? Going back.
Well, we used to go to concerts at Magic Mountain, Six Flags Magic Mountain back in the day. They had a little venue. It was kind of just freestanding, maybe, 600 or 800 people. But a lot of people went there before they became popular. They would play. That was kind of the local circuit. We used to see them down on Sunset at the Whiskey a Go-Go, the Palladium. They'd play little stuff down there. I don't remember what my first one was. I think my first big concert might have been Rush. I'm having trouble remembering right now. They all kind of blend together, but I've seen Rush, I've seen U2, I've seen Van Halen. I've seen a lot of bands. I think one of my most memorable ones was I went to see U2, and Bob Dylan came out on stage and played 3 songs. What are the chances you're ever going to see Bob Dylan play? That was something. Yeah.
Jonathan on Facebook, what's your favorite gun and caliber and why?
Yeah, MP40, easy to handle, won't jam, shoot straight. About the easiest one answer. All
right, Jeff on Facebook, what's your favorite sipping whiskey?
Boy, I sure like that stuff my brother-in-law, the Sun Valley Fox, showed me. He's got some Pendleton 1910. Dr. McDreamy and I were sitting up there on his porch with a $1 million view of Tahoe, the Tahoe Mountains up there, and drinking Pendleton 1910 in a backyard that he's built by hand from scratch. And I think the environment, the company, and that whiskey just about set Dr. McDreamy and I back just going, holy shit, this is good. And it's not super expensive. It's just great.
Yeah. Facebook personal Timothy says, you're invited to the only asphalt track in Nebraska. You get here and the rest is on me. 99 stars sent.
Well, our daughter lives in Nebraska.
Yes.
So we might make the trip out there to see her and stop by and see you. You got to tell me when, and you got to tell me where it is. Email genxmom@genxtalks.com. Even if we can't make it for this season, when's the session start next year? Let us know.
Yeah.
I'll go.
Yeah.
You guys, they had me in the booth before talking about stuff before the race at the halfway point, then after the race. I don't mind. I can't commentate because I don't know the cars and the racers and stuff, but all the before and after, and one of them was even, they had a little broadcast that went out on a local radio station. I promise you it's a lot of fun. It'll be great.
The Shoeless One gifted 5 memberships tonight to Walter Scott, Snowflake's Nightmare, Pugilist?
Person who fights with their fists.
Daniel and Raider Mac. They all got memberships tonight. It's wonderful. All our people just doing that.
Giving memberships. Thank you for that.
999 fine at Mama X.
Uh-oh.
My sister was just diagnosed with small cell lung cancer. 2 weeks to live. Oh my goodness. My hand to God, it's the truth. Hit like a bag of hammers. How did your family deal with the diagnosis? Well, I think you, honey, summed it up completely, that when somebody in your family gets cancer, the whole family, everybody's affected. Cancer. Your friends, family. It was shocking for us, too. I mean, I had 7 kids home. Our oldest one was in the Army.
Yeah.
He was deployed over to Afghanistan when I was diagnosed. 7 kids at home. And you were running your business. It was a very difficult 2 years. But I was so proud of my kids.
But his question was about the family.
How did the family deal with the diagnosis? Everybody was supportive. My husband, I was able to walk away from everything, and my family took care of everything, and the friends.
Everybody pulled together, but we had one friend of hers that was retired, a woman who was retired, that was a friend of the family, that sat with her every single day she was in the hospital. Her guardian angel. She didn't go anywhere. She didn't ask for anything. She would come and she would sit either outside or inside the room, whatever was permitted at the time. And then everybody helped at home. But I had one daughter who ran everything. She ran the other kids with chores, with homework, with getting to school, with getting home. She organized me. She fed me. She gave me my medication. And she absolutely ran the entire household. My one daughter, everyone helped. Everyone was part of it. But she absolutely was a mini version of her mother. That helped a ton. It really did.
And she was 15, 16 at
About
the time,
15,
right?
I think. Yeah, I don't think she drove yet.
Yeah. Justin Bennett, $5. Any advice you can give for someone trying to start a shop? What works? What doesn't?
Yeah, don't do it.
I would also be starting with practically nothing. Maybe he needs to email you.
Yeah, give me an email, genxdad@genxtalks.com, or join Discord, because I go in the Discord rooms a lot. There's video chat rooms in Discord, and if you guys want to go talk about something, if a bunch of you say we want to go talk about garage stuff, then we all just pick a time. We'll go to the video Discord room. We'll all start talking about garages and shop, and you can ask questions in there. I will tell you what I know, which is a lot. You know why? Because I've made a lot of mistakes. I'll be more than happy to share with you all of the stupid things I did so I can tell you not to do them. Sure. It'll save you a ton.
Christina Roth, question, when is the podcast of Gen X Mom's Cancer coming out?
Yeah.
We're working on it.
No, we're not.
What happened?
I actually gave all of it to Grant.
I know you did.
And he moved to Florida, so he's in the middle of moving. But when he's done, I think he's going to take up that mantle and go through it. I don't know, but I think so.
We're working on it.
If there's anybody that can work magic and make that happen, it's going to be Grant. He's just incredible at that. We'll see what he can do with it, but it's a mess.
Let's see. I got a couple political questions.
Okay.
Let's see. Stuart Bailey. Hey, General, have you seen that they've been going around arresting people in the UK for stuff they've posted on Facebook? They are saying that they've excited the riots that are happening. What do you think about it?
That's bullshit. You guys, that's in UK, that stuff that's going on there, that is fascism at its peak. When you can arrest somebody for free speech because they incited a riot and people are going along with it. I mean, you guys, let me help you out. Over there in the UK, when you don't like what the government is doing, I'm just going to point to 1776. Okay? We have a playbook for you. You can start by dumping a bunch of tea in the harbor, write a letter, and then go from there. But what you can't do, what we couldn't do, what you shouldn't do, is tolerate it, because it only gets worse. Okay? Winston Churchill, one of the great men of the war. You know what he said? For evil to rule the world, all good men must do is nothing. Smart cat. Just letting you guys know. If I was over there, that's what I would be preaching. Probably be in jail too.
Andrew on Facebook, knowing Trump's moral and ethical shortcomings proved in court and his ties to Epstein, why would you vote for him?
I don't give a shit. Not only could I say I don't believe all the stuff that's proven in court, because there's a lot of stupid shit that wasn't true that was proven in court. Let's say you're right. Let's say you're absolutely right that he is unethical. He was on Epstein. Let's say he funded Epstein's Island and all the shit you think. I don't care. I don't care. I know all the shit that Biden's been accused of. Well, as you do, it hasn't been proved in court yet. We haven't really got, because no one's taken him to court yet. How very convenient is that? Everybody's fucked up. I want a guy, I don't care if he's the most egotistical guy you can think of. Let's say he did everything you accused him of. Guess what? When he's in the position of the President of the United States, his policies fucking work. It changes America for the better. Now, I know you come along, well, you know, and it's not statistically true. There's a lot of stuff. I think the best thing I ever saw was there's a video on YouTube from John Stossel that talks about Trump draining the swamp. And how Trump is going to drain the swamp. And I'll tell you right now, he did not drain the swamp. I have a lot of feelings and on why and how, but he did not drain it. In fact, government got bigger, military spending grew, all the things that he said he wasn't going to do. But you watch John Stossel pick it apart and tear it down and explain why each thing happened. And then at the end, I watched it and went, fucking, I'd have that guy go do it all over again. It's against all the stuff that I wanted, and now I get it, and I'd fucking probably would have done the same thing. I don't give a shit. That's what everyone says. Well, he grabs the pussy, and he's had 3 wives, and he says on, and I don't believe the Epstein Island thing, but let's say it was Epstein. I don't give a shit. I'm hiring that guy to fix my country. All right? I don't care if he's an alcoholic. I don't care if he smokes weed. I don't care if his best friend was Noriega. I don't care. I'm hiring him to fix the country. And if he fixes the country, I give a shit about his personal life. That's between him and God. I'm not asking him over on Thanksgiving dinner. How's that?
You know what? Can I make a comment about it that I thought of? Because we were just talking, you know, out of the 2 people that are running, who's the one that you want to go into a foreign country and talk to that person?
With? Yeah.
Who do you want in that room? That's what I want to know.
Not Kamala Harris.
No.
No fucking way.
I want an arrogant asshole man or woman walking in that room and like letting them have it.
You want that or you don't want that?
I want that.
Yeah, I do too.
I want that. That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking who's going to walk into that room with those other countries.
Well, take your analogy one step further. Name a situation where you would want Kamala Harris in there. Just as a person, forget she's a Democrat, forget a liberal. Just what do you want someone negotiating peace treaty, her or a guy like Trump that comes in there and goes, I'm the fucking shit. The American flag means something. Fuck you.
Yes, that's what I want.
Or
I don't care
on the border. You want someone who goes, I'm building the wall and you can get the fucking line like you're supposed to. Or someone who's like, okay, we can all do this. Let's all figure it out. Human beings are. Which one do you want?
I'm sorry. There's also
any situation.
There's also nobody on this earth that does not have a past.
No.
I'm sorry. When they start saying that about any person,
Then guess what? Neither one of us could ever be president.
Nobody on this earth could be president. No, that's crazy. John Morgan, $2. When are we getting pics of the KGXT plaques? Dun, dun, dun.
Should we talk about how they're faded right now? I'm going to turn on the mics for 1 sec. Okay, microphones are back up. We went to take pictures of the plaques. They're on the side. And boy, Loud One's the one who's just beating that drum the most. And the problem is that no matter what time of day you take a picture, there's a bad reflection. And then now they've been out in the sun so long, they're all kind of faded the same color. I've actually told my wife, go get new plaques, redo them exactly as they are. We'll take the pictures first and then put them up inside the studio. We have to, because they're out there. Come to the barbecue. You can read them all. They're on the outside of the studio. But it's a little bit fucked up. I don't know. You know what? If you don't like the way they faded in the sun, blame God. Go talk to God and tell him about it, because I didn't do it.
Wow.
I did not turn the sun way, way up. No. That was God.
James Johnson on Facebook. What is your greatest achievement as a father? Ooh.
I'm going to drink before I don't.
That's a deep one.
My greatest achievement as a father. I would say.
I'm just kidding.
Every time I see one of my children exceeding me, and I don't mean money or financially, that'll be easy to do. I mean, when I see my sons becoming the man that I hope they should be, when I see them making decisions in the right way, when they're doing the right thing, even when nobody's around to see it, when I see my children showing compassion for people at the right time, when I see my children standing up for the right thing at the right time and not backing down, anytime I see them exceeding in those areas, probably some of the proudest moments as a father you could ever have is when, and I see that with daughter-in-laws, son-in-laws, that time frame, that era, that generation, those kids and the spouses that they've picked. Anytime I see them collectively doing that, I'm super proud. And I tell them that. And when my children are raising their kids to be strong, independent thinkers and wonderful human beings, I'm proud of that too. I think I had a hand in that, my wife and I, with how we raised them. Maybe not, but we take credit for it anyway. It's a very fine line in that. When my children fuck up, I tell my wife, your kids are fucking up. When my kids do something great, I go, look at my children and what they've done. I think that's the best way to leave it. Yeah. What else?
All right. Laura K., you won't go on an airplane, but you'll go on a sub to the bottom of the ocean.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Not getting on a fucking airplane. Guess what? An airplane has a problem, it just crashes. A submarine has a problem, they just hoist you to the top and you're good to go.
Or it explodes.
They're on a... Shows how much you know. Shows how... you're just a dumb girl with boobs. Good thing you're pretty.
Oh, gosh. Darren wants to know...
Submarines don't explode.
Okay. Darren
implode.
Sorry.
There you go.
Darren wants to know why you in the basement.
I guess
Lionheart wants to know why you're in Biden's basement.
Well, I was down here in Biden's basement protecting him, telling him, look, I know they're putting you out in front of cameras. They shouldn't be. I know they're making you do stuff you don't want to do. You're kind of old. You're not getting it. I'm here to protect you. I'm here to protect Biden, because the way they're treating him and have been treating him, putting him out there for speeches is wrong. They shouldn't have done it. And I finally said something about it. So this is the basement of the White House. Not as pretty as you'd think. Well, budget cuts and all. The reason I'm down here is because, I made an inappropriate move with my wife earlier and was banished. I'm probably going to sleep down here tonight. But whatever. It is what it is.
No, but donk.
No, but donk for me.
Shadowlight, what has been the hardest part of doing Gen X Talks? What has been the best?
Hardest part of those fucking ambush videos, the best part is getting to talk to you guys. I don't mind. See, I'm an old radio personality at heart. from the 80s in LA. I don't mind talking to people. I don't mind having a conversation with this. Like Josh Maddox said, this is the best bar ever. He types it in there, best bar ever. And he means it because this is like a bar. You guys are talking to me. I'm talking to you. We're all drinking, having a good time. I know it's a virtual bar. I know it's not real. I know what a real bar is. I'm not a fucking moron. But the bottom line is that for what this is right here, I dig the interaction. This is the best part for me.
All right. The Sun Valley Fox just texted me. He goes, we watched the show and none of my questions were answered. You didn't ask it.
He didn't ask any questions. The Sun Valley Fox doesn't put his name into Facebook, chat, or Rumble, or YouTube. What are we supposed to get your topics by omniscience?
I don't know. Michael Dawson wants to know, what Olympic event do you think either one of you could compete in? Right now?
Right now?
At our age?
At my peak?
Men.
I don't know. At my peak?
I did gymnastics when I was younger. I could probably do that, but not right now.
I don't know. Even when you were 21, you weren't as flexible as you thought.
I wasn't 21 when I did gymnastics.
How old were you?
I was like 11 or 12.
They don't have 11 years old in the Olympics. They don't have 11-year-olds in the Olympics.
I understand that, but I choose to not argue right now.
Good.
Phil's Garage. Can't walk into foreign land and be a loose cannon or WW3 is on the brink. Don't sleep with the enemy. Keep them across the pond. I guess that's about our conversation.
Yeah, I don't know. I still like to have Trump go in there and just say, this is the way it's going to fucking go.
Yeah, $5 loud one. I just want to see the pics of the damn plaques. LOL.
No shit. I know you do. I got it. I get that from you all the time. Blah, 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 blah. I'm working on it.
Star Roberts wants to know, General, what's your opinion on Pink Floyd music?
I like Pink Floyd music. I think that the message they were building to, when you listen to The Wall, Pink Floyd, The Wall, for me, I kind of think it said everything that it needed to say. The songs built a story from beginning to end. I think, and I would never tell a musician, stop recording music. But if you listen to The Wall, you kind of get the whole picture of everything, of the mood of that age group when it came out. I was a little bit before my time, not much, but I was young, so I didn't grasp it till years had gone by and I was a little older. But when you listen to it, they absolutely completed everything they wanted to say in that, and there were such powerful messages all throughout that. There's even some Christian messages in there, and I could get into that. There was one song and one video and one thing which pointed towards just this absolute parallel comparison to life without Christ. And I was like, wow. And so there was a lot in there. But yes, there's some things with Pink Floyd I like very much.
Chuy Fernandez on Facebook. Do you believe that we are not alone in the universe? And have you experienced any UFO sightings?
You guys heard my story about the perfect sphere that was in the pool next door to me when I grew up in Van Nuys?
You told that story.
Yeah, I told that story. I'm not telling it now, but I told it then. So, yeah, I don't know. I kind of got the theory of, there was a scientist on Rogan, can't remember his name now, and he's like, look, there's either no aliens out there or there's billions. There's no in between. So, I don't know. Jordan Peterson hasn't told me what to think about that yet. Go ahead.
Michelle on Facebook, are you concerned about millennial or Gen Z running things in the future? Well, isn't Vance a millennial?
Yeah, I think so. He's a millennial. There's good people and fucking tooltards on both sides. You just got to get the good ones in charge. I think that's the way it'll be forever.
Guess what the Sun Valley Fox just said? He goes, listening to Pink Floyd, you need to be high. I kind of remember.
You do. Yeah, he's right. Now Sun Valley Fox is from that era.
Yes, he is.
Like he was down on Sunset Boulevard standing in that line at Tower Records waiting to be one of the first guys to buy that album. That's how big that was. He's right. Yeah, you can alter your state of mind, get high, get drunk, fall back, turn out the lights. Absolutely. You will pick up more messages from Pink Floyd, especially The Wall, than you would sober and clean and staring at it through your, binoculars.
All right, we have two more questions. I know there were a lot of questions, but it's an hour and a half right now that we've been on.
Nobody asked us anything sexual.
I know.
thought for sure that was going to be the big topic.
Houdini, what is going to happen to the Gen X Talks community when you move, and what will be the kids' role?
The only thing that changes is
location.
His ambush videos, he's already said, I'm going to, drive up, or we can, he's got some ideas on topics and things to argue about. The format may change a little bit on how those come across, but he wants to keep doing them. That's the one thing he's committed to, is to doing the ambush videos and showing up at the in-person events. Basically, my wife and I have taken over all the other duties. He slides in with some stuff. You can tell because he'll reference himself in something he posts or something he says, my dad this, my mom that. But for the most part, we've taken over all of the duties over the last 6 months since he was in college and then moved out. He's trained us, he's given us a list, and he oversees a lot of it from a distance. That's what Mondays are all about, coming back. Listen to the podcast. Listen to the podcast. We talk about that. But that's what's going to change. The community's not going to change. We're still doing things. If people say, hey, come to Southern California and do something, we'll be there. We're still going to do the stuff where we are. Nobody ever comes to this location except for the barbecue once a year. So now we'll do the barbecue in Reno. And Reno's an international airport. You can fly to Reno. You can't fly to Bakersfield.
Right.
It's a lot more expensive to fly here, drive here, find here. Reno's a much more accessible place. Plus, we're 6 hours from Vegas. We can drive down to Vegas and do all the in-person events we want there. Plus, now we're up there. We can reach the Pacific Northwest. There was a lot of things in Seattle, in Portland, in Northern California that we can go do, in Idaho that we couldn't do before. It really puts us in a better spot to go places. Plus, we can still be down in Southern California in 6.5 hours. We've done it a bunch of times already.
Yes.
So we're thinking this actually changes stuff for the good.
And the kid is hoping to go to Chico.
Yeah, just over the mountain range.
For college. So he'll only be about 3 hours away. So
2 hours.
Oh, 2 hours.
2 hours away from where he wants to go. So.
All right. Loud one, $5. Well, hurry the fuck up with the damn pics. It's not that you're busy at all. I'm important, damn it, because I said so. And what do you say about that?
Is there a way are you legally allowed to block somebody who's from Tasmania? He's literally from Tasmania. That's why I excuse him from so much shit. It's backwards down there. So I get it. He's literally a Tasmanian devil truck driver from Aussie territory. So I tolerate a lot. But if we ban him, does that violate the Geneva Convention or something?
I have no idea.
Because we should. We absolutely should.
The Shoeless one, $5. Listen to Dark Side of the Moon while watching Wizard of Oz.
Yeah, that's an old trick. I've actually done that once where I got it right, where I started the needle on the record at the exact time, and it is the most uncanny thing you've ever fucking seen. It's incredible. I think somebody's got it. I think somebody did a YouTube video where they lined it up, and you can listen to the whole album, and you get done thinking they wrote that album for Wizard of Oz. It's absolutely incredible to watch. Cool. It's something to behold if you guys can do it. But I had to do it back in the day when you had to start it on your VCR and put the needle on there, and if it didn't line up, you had to start both of them over again.
Wow.
I got it to work once, and it was perfect.
All right, our last question of the night is, Justin, what are your thoughts on the attempted Trump assassination? Do you have any thoughts?
Okay, first of all, I think of these things in weird ways, something you're not going to hear on the news, but just think about how outraged. First of all, it's not in the news anymore, is it? That assassination was, 6 weeks ago? 5 weeks? Nobody's even talking about it. It's over. Nobody cares. The assassination attempt's gone. And we don't know anything. Well, he said, she said, communications, they were supposed to watch, but we weren't watching, but the phones didn't work. The comms, we didn't have things. Is it her fault? Is it his fault? Imagine if he'd have gotten killed. Imagine if Trump had died. And 6 weeks later, everyone is still, well, I'm not sure if Bob, did Joe tell him, did Bob have was Steve supposed to be on the comms? I don't know who had that roof, were they supposed to be, could they see with the trees? Imagine if they had played out this story like they're doing, like they knew they were going to. A lot of confusion, a lot of secret stuff going on here. We can't tell the public just yet till we sort stuff. They knew that was going to be the program no matter what. Imagine if he died And 6 weeks later, there was still no information, nobody to blame. Nobody really knew. The news quit talking about it. Let's move on. And the man was dead. The amount of explosive turmoil in this country would have already spilled over, in my opinion. He hadn't picked a running mate, so there was no one to step in and go, I was Trump's guy, now I'm your guy. That attempt happened at the right time. And it was just divine intervention that saved him. Imagine what you would be feeling right now if he had died and no one was giving us any answers and the media had politely moved on. It's not healthy for the country to keep talking about this assassination. Let's move on. Like they're already doing. Imagine if we'd been hearing the same thing, but he had died. It was divine intervention that saved him. I believe it will be divine intervention that gets him elected. I don't believe all of the polls, well, Kamala's neck and neck, so don't be here. I'm going to give you what this means. Every time you hear someone say, well, she's polling better than Trump.
You take me off the screen.
I might be able to.
Thank you.
Just remember this, then we're going to finish up. Just remember this. If every time they say, well, the polls are neck and neck, Kamala's right in there with them. In fact, she's a little bit ahead. You're going to hear that from now all the way to the election day. So when we know he's winning that night and you wake up in the morning and they go, oh, my God, she won. I don't know how we got to. And sometime, glad you guys woke up, but you woke up to Wednesday morning and she won. And don't be surprised. I mean, you saw the polling for months and months. She was neck and neck. You saw the polling. She was right there. This isn't a surprise to anybody. And the only way that works is if the polling is neck and neck. So they're just going to tell you it is. They're just going to tell us the polling's neck and neck, even if it's not. The polling's neck and neck, even if it's not. The polling's close, even if it's not. That way, you'll buy it. The next morning when you mysteriously wake up and things are due, we've counted the rest of the votes this morning. The only thing that will fix this right now is something very simple, is if good, hardworking Americans place themselves, volunteer, register, sign in, place yourselves at a voting center, at a polling center, where you go in and you stand there, because the Democrats are going to do it. The liberals are going to have everybody, everywhere, every time. And only if the conservatives, if the Republicans have just as many people standing there, knowing what's going on, learning the system, and keeping things honest with every step, it is the only way. Whatever town you live in, go volunteer. Even if it's at an elementary school and there's only 3,000 votes, then you be in charge of those 3,000 votes, making sure they're fair. If you're in a bigger city, get a team of people. Go down and register. Be part of the process. Why not? Make sure it's fair. That's all I'm asking. That's the difference. Do we have enough people to have a grassroots movement to keep it fair? That's the only thing I'm asking. I didn't ask you to sway a vote. I just said, keep it fair. That's the way it's going to happen. That's the way it's going to work. When Trump gets 60, 80,000 people at a rally and Kamala can't get 3,000 people and they're going to wake up the next morning and say she won? Well, you know, Democrats just don't come out for those type of events. They're just not that kind of people. Yeah. Bullshit. Since when? Obama got a lot of people. Clinton got a lot of people. Hillary got a lot of people. Since when? Go fuck yourself with that answer. That's bullshit. I got to go. I got to get out of here. I have to buy my wife dinner so I can get out of the woodshed. I can get out of the cellar. I got to get out of the basement. I promised her a nice dinner this evening. It's just the two of us home. We'll do something nice for her. Maybe the general will get lucky, get a little badonkadonk. You never know. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for listening. If you had an hour and 35 minutes of your evening to waste. I'm very happy that you chose to waste it here with Gen X Talks. There's not a better place to waste the 90 minutes than right here. I will attest to that. If you don't believe me, just ask me. I'll tell you. Everything I told you tonight was true. Give or take a lie or two. It's what Wyatt Earp said one time, and I'm stealing that one. Thank you guys for tuning in around the planet, AM, FM, Sirius XM, or perhaps you were listening in on the Armed Service Radio Network. Remember two things. Number one, wherever you go in the world, well, right there is where you are. Number two, I'll catch you guys on the flip side, and I'm out.